Hi everyone, welcome to our analysis of the IPL teams for this year. So me and my brother, Dr. Siddhartha, thought we'd try something new this time and try to summarize the teams of the IPL going into this season in just under 5 minutes. Being the first episode, this might be a little bit longer, but we'll try to keep it as short as possible. So the idea is the brainchild of my brother, Dr. Siddhartha. So he has a PhD in English literature, but his focus of study is on cricket. So his level of expertise is actually a lot, though he's not professionally into cricket as such. And we thought of this idea because of the fact that, because of two reasons mainly. One is so that you get a very short summary into each teams, even if you're not a person who follows cricket very vehemently. And the second reason is so that you can also have some names that you can watch out for going into the IPL in Dubai this year. So over to you, Sidhana.
So, Aashrit, so can you also explain the format in which we are going to have this team review?
Sure. So at the start of every presentation, we'll be taking up one team and we will go through their entire squad, separated into batsmen, bowlers, and wicket keepers, and all-rounders, of course. But since that would be a lot of information to get into your head, we will go into specific questions. So I have a set of questions that I'm going to ask Dr. Siddhartha, and he will be answering those questions based on his study of the teams.
All right, I'm ready. So who's the team for the day?
So the team that we are going to look into
don't
today. No, we're not going to start on a bad note.
Okay.
So the team that we are going to start with is the Kings XI Punjab. As you can see, very red and bright. They're the same color as RCB, but thankfully they're not RCB.
Okay.
And if you look into the team, we can start with the batsmen. They have 4 batsmen with 1 foreigner, and we go into they have a lot of bowlers in their bag. Actually, they can use each one for different set of bowlers for different matches. They have about 12 bowlers in their kitty. They have 6 all-rounders, pretty good all-rounders as well. And they have 3 wicket keepers with 1 foreign option there. And of course, Captain KL Rahul going in. So now that we've shown the teams very briefly, let's get into the questions so that it gets more interesting. So Sidhana, the first question that I want to ask you is that we've seen the team. Can you tell me about the strengths that Punjab has as a team?
If you ask me, I think you made a mention of that. The strength that Punjab has is that they have an excellent, good mix in the bowling options that they have. If I were to name the top bowlers, they have Mohammad Shami, they have Sheldon Cottrell, they have for the pace bowlers, of course, and they also have Ishan Porel, who's an upcoming Indian fast bowler. They have Mujibur Rahman, they have Murugan Ashwin, they have Jagadish Suchit, and they also have Ravi Bishnoi. Again, an under-19 leg spinner who was part of the team that went up to the finals in the World Cup for India. So I think the strength for Punjab is going to be their bowling attack.
Okay, but then with so many bowlers, what do you think the weakness is going to be? You say that the strength.
The weakness is their Indian middle order batsmen. Mm-hmm. They don't have big names. Of course, they have big names at the top of the order. But if you come down to their actual middle order, it would be Deepak Hooda, Sarfaraz Khan, Mandeep Singh, and Krishnappa Gautam, who again, of course, a couple of these also figure as all-rounders in the team. But the Indian component is, except for KL Rahul, they really don't have a great Indian batsman of repute. And that, I think, is their weakness.
Okay, and I see that you mentioned Ravi Bishnoi. Mm-hmm. Do you think he's going to serve as a domestic player that we can see in the future?
Definitely, Ravi Bishnoi is a domestic star in the making, and I think he is a name to watch out for in this episode of IPL, because we know the impact that wrist spinners are having in T20 cricket. Mm-hmm. And he, in fact, he was unplayable in the Under-19 World Cup, and teams towards the latter half of the cup started just playing out his 24 deliveries without trying to lose a wicket. And so he showed a lot of promise. Definitely a star in the making.
So let's see how he delivers this time. We've spoken about the young players that are going into the season. Can you tell me who's the oldest player in Punjab right now?
The oldest player is Chris Gayle.
Okay, so he is going to have an impact, don't you think, this year? Or do you think his time is over?
I would call Chris Gayle the aged horse of the team because Yeah, he can have an impact in maybe 1 or 2 games at best. But whether they would want to play him in all the games, waiting for that game, for that big game, is a question that the team needs to answer, because they can have only 4 foreigners and they have quite a few good foreigners and whom they would like to play in the squad at most points of time. So whether they would want Chris Gayle to occupy one spot all the time is something that I would think that he's beyond his prime, way beyond his prime.
Okay, so if you say that Chris Gayle doesn't automatically make it
You want
into
to
the
come out
11,
of, you want to come out of the presentation more?
oh yeah, sure, I can do that. Just a second.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
So yeah, if you're saying that Chris Gayle is not going to make an automatic entry into the 11, whom do you think are going to be Punjab's most likely 4 foreigners to play this season?
Okay. They would definitely play Maxwell, because
Okay.
we know the kind of high impact that Maxwell can have. I think Mujib-ur-Rahman is an automatic pick into the 11. He's a mystery spinner. They will most likely play Sheldon Cottrell, because he's a left-arm fast bowler who's got a lot of variations as well. So Shami plus Cottrell is a very good pace attack to have. The fourth spot, if you ask me, it's a toss-up between Jimmy Neesham, who's another all-rounder who they went after in the auctions, and and Nicholas Pooran. Now again, Nicholas Pooran, because he's also a wicket keeper. Now the question is whether Rahul will want to keep wickets, because he's also the captain and he's also their best batsman. Now if he doesn't want to keep wickets as well, he's got a very good attacking left-hand batsman who can play anywhere in the top order and who's also a very safe pair of hands. So I would think Nicholas Pooran would have that edge over Jimmy Neesham, because they already have Maxwell. And their other all-rounders that are Deepak Hooda and Krishna Gautam are very similar. You know, they have similar skill sets, so it might become a case of too many all-rounders in the team. You would much rather play a proper batsman like Nicholas Pooran. So to sum up, I think it will be Pooran, Cottrell, Maxwell, and Mujib.
Oh, perfect. Thanks for the analysis. Just a question from here. If you're going to say that Pooran is keeping wickets, do you think we will see KL Rahul opening the batting, or would he want to come much lower down the order because of the fact that we don't have a strong Indian middle order?
I think he would still open the batting.
Okay.
He's the kind of guy who should play as many overs as possible. I know it puts a lot of pressure on the middle order, but because you have a Maxwell and you have a Pooran, you would think that there is a little bit of firepower in the middle order as well. So if things don't click at the top, he would expect the middle order to pick up.
Okay, so that means what I understand from what you're saying is that it looks like most of the time Punjab would much rather set a target rather than go down and chase a target, because they don't have a lot of finishers, right?
No, technically speaking, guys like Maxwell, Krishna Gautam are finishers. And they can chase any target on their day. I don't know. I mean, that entirely depends on who wins the toss. But as a squad, if you ask me, I think they have a top-heavy batting lineup and a very solid bowling lineup. It's the middle part which I think they are missing a few pieces.
Okay, and so before we wind up, I just have 3 more questions. Who do you think is one unheard member of the team who we should watch out for this season?
Should watch out for? I think I would go with Ravi Bishnoi as the wild card for the year from Punjab.
Okay.
I hope he gets a few games, because there is also Murugan Ashwin, who is a very similar kind of a bowler and who has the advantage of having played more IPL seasons than Ravi Bishnoi. But I hope we see a lot of Ravi Bishnoi because of the kind of tracks that we have in UAE. And it would be a very stark difference, the bowling styles of Mujib-ur-Rahman, who's a mystery spinner, who's an off spinner, and a wrist spinner in Ravi Bishnoi.
Okay, so let's see how their combination goes. Who do you think is going to be one person who unfortunately might not get a game and is flying all the way to the UAE just to be a drinks boy for the team?
I can actually name 2. Prabh Simran Singh and there's a Darshan Nalkande.
Okay, I've never heard those names before.
exactly why they're qualified to be the answer to your question.
So thank you so much. Just before I wind up, I have one last question. Can
Sure.
you tell me who will be the one player who will have the maximum impact for Kings XI Punjab this season?
KL Rahul. I think
Okay.
that he will be the max impact player for Punjab. Everything is riding on him. He's also the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, he made a statement a couple of days ago that he had nightmares during the lockdown, where
Okay.
in his nightmares, he forgot to pick his line and length batting.
Ah.
So, so hopefully, he's going to be a nightmare for the bowlers once the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a really nice analysis of what you've done. Thank you for all the research that you've done as well and given us a very good perspective of it. I hope we've been able to summarize it as short as possible. And if you do like it, please share it with your friends. Have a look at it. Give us your feedback. And we will see you very shortly for analyzing the next team in the IPL. See you
Thank you,
next
Aashrit.
time.
Thank you.